All right, guys, beautiful day. Obviously pleased, great crowd out there. Our student section continued to turn out. It was a wonderful day, and just pleased with the way the victory happened. 1-0, right? Whatever it takes. It wasn't always pretty at times. And just like last week, I asked the guys in the locker room right after the game, who's got things to improve upon? And it starts with me. I've got to be better as a head coach. I apologize to our fans. I got an unsportsmanlike penalty thrown on me. It's been a while since that happened, but I'm also not going to sit there and watch a team tee off on our quarterback, and always will protect our players. But shame on me, and I apologize to our fan base and to our team for allowing those actions to get the best of me. So that's on me. I'll improve on that. Great to see John Moran out there supporting our football team. I think in the second half he was hanging out with my parents up in the suite, so good for him to show up in the 901 and represent the University of Memphis and all we stand for. So great to have him. Look, pretty clean game. Obviously the penalties are something that we've got to get fixed. It's unlike us, and we'll get those handled. You know, we got the run game going a little bit, obviously in the second quarter, and great to see Mario Anderson step up and fill in. Greg DeWosier, obviously a dual threat with what he was able to do. And then the defense went out there and played sound football, and that's the key, is going out there and playing, sound football to the best of their ability. They try to limit the explosives. Obviously, it's hard to play top-down defense, and we got to clean up some of those tackles, in which we will. I don't like to single out individuals. Elijah Herring, 8 tackles, right? 2 TFLs, forced fumble recovery, and a sack. So that's a heck of an individual performance. And just like Mario, almost 150 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. But a full effort by a lot of people, but a lot to work on. And it starts with me. I've got to be better. We're excited. I know a lot of you guys want to talk about FSU, but I'd like to talk about this Troy game and the opportunity to go beat a team that's tied for 4th in the country. And wins over the last 2 years, and so it's an opponent obviously that had been used to winning, and thank goodness we were able to be on the right side of the win column today to go 1-0 this week, and excited to what the future brings about it.
Right. You spoke about Elijah Herring. These last 2 games, your linebacker group is really impressive. So what are you liking out of that group in this first game?
Yeah, I think the fact that our linebackers played physical, and Frank, that's what we're going to need them to do. They've got really, really smart group of linebackers out there, and that's what's great. Elijah's really shifty, nifty, for lack of a better term. He sees things. We know what a great player Chandler Martin is, but for Elijah to go out there and make plays, and the rest of the linebackers, and we've been able to rotate quite a few of them. It was a great effort by those guys. We're going to need them to continue to play at a high level, not only in the run game but in the pass game, and they've also been instrumental in our success on special teams.
Coach, a friend of mine calls that a rock fight, the kind of game you just had. And Coach Hankins talked about physicality this week. Frank asked a question. So how did you feel overall, team-wise, that the physicality step up for you for both sides?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty chippy game, and myself included. I think this is the first game I've been involved with where both head coaches get unsportsmanlike flags on them. Jared whipped my tail. He's younger and stronger and more in shape, but our guys handled their business, and that was one of the keys to victory I talked to our team about, is going out there and being the more physical team, and it had to start up front. We've got to pride ourselves in winning the trenches, and I thought the O-line and D-line played well and played hard. I promise you guys will always see a team that's going to leave it all on the field, whatever our Memphis Tigers take it, and I think that's what we saw today. We're going to have to continue to be more physical, and that's not just the O-line, D-line, that's everybody, right? I want our quarterback to be a physical. Well, he tried to throw his crap in there a couple times, which, calm down, Seth. We don't need your little butt doing that. But, that means winning the one-on-ones, right? Rock Taylor, if they're going to hold you, you've got to win those one-on-ones, right? That means safety's coming down and making clean tackles. That means on our punt coverage unit, are we doing what we need to do? So physicality needs to be something we can hang our hat on, not just in this game, but the rest of the season. And we take a lot of pride in that, right? And I tell you guys this all the time. You'll never turn on the tape and see a team from the Memphis Tigers that I'm coaching without a lot of great effort and guys not getting out there and trying to get after every single play.
Hey, Coach, the biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2, other than obviously running game, what was one of the biggest improvements?
Yeah, no, it's, hey, made some kicks, didn't we? So I know you guys, I'm shocked you didn't ask me about the kicker, and I know Devin's pairing up some question about my outfit for the day. But, no, look, I was pleased with the kicking game. I mean, certainly, and then anytime we how many times we practice that pooch punt to down it on the 1 yard line. Great job by the punter and Julian and those guys. We covered the ball well. Obviously, the wind, it was kind of interesting with that, but the kicking game I was very pleased with, and that's something we're going to need consistent effort with from those guys, time in and time out. And look, It was good, but the run game was an improvement, and there's still a lot to be cleaned up from there. And that's what's so great. I told you guys this last time. What I love about this team is they're hungry. Like, not a single one of them sitting there on their high horse saying we're 2-0. BS. Man, we've got to be better. And again, like I said, it starts with me. I've got to clean some stuff up. But, look, the biggest improvement, obviously, is week 1 to week 2. But now week 2 to week 3, we've got to be even better. And that's what we want, a team that continues to increase the way they do things and play clean.
Speaking of the running game, is there any update on Sutton?
Yeah, unfortunately, Sutton is lost for the season. Okay, his injury is going to require surgery. And Sutton's, a phenomenal young man. You guys know I've known Sutton. He was one of those that committed to us as a junior out of high school and stayed committed, even though SEC schools came in, Big 12 schools came in, and he's one of those guys that truly plays as a freshman. Just a great young man that worked his tail off, really to give himself the opportunity to be a starting running back. And we know how dynamic he was as a returner in the passing game. So certainly not only a loss on the field, but just such a phenomenal human. But if there's anything I know about Sutton Smith, he's going to work his tail back. And he's going to recover the right way. He's going to do everything in his power to come back because the kid loves his teammates. He loves his program. He's going to do everything he can to recover. We're going to keep him in thoughts and prayers. We let Mario Anderson break our rock, and we didn't honor Sutton. Couldn't think of another guy. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that Sutton has a great and healthy and safe recovery. But obviously, tremendous loss. But he's going to be there. He showed up at the hotel last night. I said, "How the heck did you drive?" He probably crutched over from his dorm, but he showed up just to be around his teammates, and that's the type of young man he is.
How much of what Mario did was just him taking advantage of opportunity, and how much of it was up front and receivers moving blocks and such? And just how do you feel about the state of the rush game, like what you just said?
Yeah, let's start. If you ever come out to practice, it's not me teaching these guys spin moves, and certainly not teaching the hurdling. So that's a lot of God-given ability in the young man. I always said, when we coached Adrian Peterson, I didn't teach him anything, right? But a lot of that was Mario did on his own, which is great, which shows me, hey, there's things we can improve upon in the run game. But yeah, look, credit to the O-line, credit to the wide receivers and tight ends blocking, Seth putting us in those right positions. But a lot of it was the running backs doing stuff on their own. So let's give credit where it's due. I don't like to ever point and say, hey, great job by one individual effort. I think it always starts up front. Overall, the run game was significantly improved, but again, I think we saw some times where they bought some cover zero stuff where we need to be able to find creases in there. We got to continue to clean up our communication. Like I said in the post-game radio, I'm sitting there. I was watching West Virginia film. I was watching Tennessee Martin film. I was watching, obviously their first game versus a triple option in Nevada. So just trying to figure out what they were going to do. And again, we're playing a team coming off a bye. Then the week after that, another bye, and then another bye. All these teams that we're playing are coming off buys from here on out. And so at one point I'd love to say, hey, what we saw on film is exactly what they did. Now it's my job as the coach to put us in a better position to have success.
Coach, I want to talk about your guys' red zone play. For the second straight game, you guys are perfect in the red zone. Can you just talk about the importance of not only finishing up the drive, but getting the most amount of points possible?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in college football this day and age, kicking field goals is great and all, but that's not going to win you football games. We've got to be really, really excellent and sharp in the red zone. And you'll hear me talk about situational football all the time. I think we go through, it's great to be really good on 1st and 10 and 2nd and 6. But, all through training camp, OTAs, we talk about situational football. And it's our job to educate our young men. Okay, hey, no different than third down, no different than backed up, no different than, fourth and short, where we're at in the field, right? Alumni zone, all those different things. And so we practice red zone a ton. And we've got to be great there because we know points are at a premium. And if we have a chance to go away with 6 or 7, ideally, right, that's what we want to do. Obviously Coach Cramsey does a phenomenal job with his play calling. And we got a lot of weapons down there, and we were able to put a lot of them to use. We've got to continue to be great in the red zone. Look, I like our kickers and all that fun stuff, but if we can get 6s rather than 3s, that's huge.
Ryan, having the 1993 team here, I don't know if you got to talk to them at any point today or in the last week or so. What was that like, Isaac Morris and all those guys?
Yeah, look, obviously immense. You guys know my fondness for this university and for the history, right? To have that 1993 team, I don't know if you guys know that, it was celebrated today. I go back, I told our team, I said, are you kidding me? They beat Arkansas. They beat Ole Miss. They beat Mississippi State. Now, Ed Dunn is going to go out there and try to schedule those teams. We don't need them all in 1 year, okay? So, but the 93 team, those legends, those are the people that I'm sitting up here because of those people that came before me. And so give credit where credit's due. Isaac is a friend of mine. He showed up last night at our victory walk. No one asked him to. And just to be around our guys and have a Hall of Fame wide receiver like that bleeds blue, that loves his Tigers, and then wants to come out with his brothers, his captains, the 93 team, and be represented today. Man, it's an honor and a privilege, right, to stand on the shoulders of those legends. And so Isaac and all our former players, we love having them back. And it's just tremendous. I get goosebumps thinking about being part of that stuff, and that I'm a little speck of this Memphis history. But, man, it was great to have that 93 team, especially Isaac, Bruce, and the rest of those guys.
Rachel and Tim.
Ryan, how did you find out that Ja was coming today, and what was your reaction?
I found out a few days ago. I've been fortunate to know some of those guys. I'm not saying me and Ja are, on TikTok, DME or whatever they do these days to each other. But everybody knows I support the Grizzlies. I love the Grizzlies. We've seen Desmond Bain up in my suite. My poor parents are in their mid-70s. They probably didn't know who John Morant was up there with them today. But no, it was cool. I knew he was coming. It was great. And I think that's so wonderful to see the city come together, right, to unite. That's one of the things I tell. Even before the game, I told some recruits, I was like, man, John Morant's going to be here. That's a huge selling point. And you think about the pro sports team, Ja could be doing anything else, and he wants to come support the local football team. I mean, that's huge. Our university, right? I think they've got to go hand in hand. We've got to continue to support each other, and it's a great, right? Obviously, he's a worldwide icon and a tremendous basketball player, and so for him to show up and to support us, it means the world. And I think our players appreciate that stuff. And we every year we try to get to a Grizzlies game. I try to take the team to something, but it's wonderful. Look, he's no different than the fan that sat in 113, Section B, Row F, that was eating the nachos. That was yelling at me half the game. But it was great to have him there and his presence, and hopefully all those guys continue to show up. And it's great to unite the city.
Did you see on the goal line run, the whole line, the first thing they did was ran straight to it
Did they?
to celebrate with them?
Well, I'm going to throw the flag because they need to celebrate with their teammates. And
Well, celebrate their teammates first, and then
did they? And what's his dance? The gritty.
There's no gritties.
There's no gritties. Okay.
No chest bumps.
Yeah, that's good.
Chest bump.
Good. Well, no, I mean, look, I don't want a bunch of robots. I don't. I want our guys to enjoy it. I even told them this morning, and my hair was probably on fire about 4:30 this morning. Anybody knows me, I'll be asleep here in about 5 hours. But I want our guys playing with passion and energy, right? We're a morning practice team, go out there and do it. And so I love the fact that they celebrate with them. That's great. Obviously, we want to do everything within the realm of the game that's asked and required to. But if he keeps showing up and we can score and victories, we'll go celebrate with him more.
Sam, and then one more after that.
In light of everything that's been going on this week with basketball, frankly, how frustrating, if at all, is it for you that with all the good things that you're giving in, that there's not more attention, talk, eyeballs on what they are doing, especially now as you continue on full strength?
Yeah, I learned a long time ago to take care of my own backyard, and we have blinders on. You guys have heard me talk about that. I've got enough to worry about, man, in that locker room, right? Every night, our guys making great decisions tonight. Are we preparing the right way for Florida State? So we've got great focus. We've got a great administration, and I can't worry about any of that stuff. I've got enough issues on my own every single day. To worry about. We're going to do things the right way in our football program, and that's where our focus is, and that's where I'll always be. I've got great faith in this university and our athletic department, but man, it's great. One of the things that it helps me is, if Jonah writes a bad article about me tonight, I don't have to read it because I'm off social media. So whatever they say, it's good. But no, look, the focus on us. And like I'll even tell our team tomorrow, when we're watching this film, how do we look at ourselves and find ways to improve, right? And then, hey, come Sunday night, let's turn our focus to Florida State. Obviously, an opponent that started the season in the top 10 that has more talent than most teams in the entire country, that we're going to have to bring our A game with a team that's having a bye week to prepare for us. But look, the focus 100% on ourselves. We got plenty of things. I make more mistakes than any player, than any person in our building every single day. I tell our team that I make more mistakes and I got to be better, and I appreciate that because I think our guys understand that the genuineness that comes with that, and I'll find ways to be better. But we got great focus on our wonderful football program that we take a lot of pride in every single day.
Final question, Sam.
You got two more. We're good. That way you can learn some names. I like this. I got nowhere to go. I got 15 more minutes before the film's uploaded.
Coach, what can you attribute the uptick in penalties to? Is that internal? Is it something about ramping crew?
Oh, I thought we were done with questions now. Look, it is what it is. Obviously, there's some things we got to clean up. There was a huge uptick. We've been very fortunate. You guys noticed the track record that we've had as a program. Really, we're top 10% and least amount of penalties. I don't know how the right way to word bottom 10%. I don't know the correct way. Forgive me for that. But generally, over the history of our program, the last 4 years, we've been one of the least penalized teams. We take great pride in being a disciplined team. And today, and it starts with me. I mean, I was one that got a selfish penalty. And so, but I'm always going to do everything I can to protect our team and our players the right way. We'll find ways to clean it up, see if there's things we can continue to do, and put our eyes and head down and keep chopping away at this thing to improve that way.
Jalen. Coach, that third quarter unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, take me through what led up to that.
Yeah.
McCall's problem.
And I'm not going to sit here. I will never talk about officials. They've got a job to do, and they do it at a great level. I've got a lot of respect for officials. Brian Platt, the AAC crews do a phenomenal job, and I think it's a great relationship. So I give they've got the hardest job of anybody. But when things I don't think are, I think there's unnecessary shots, and probably you know what, and I admit this, and I don't mind saying because he's sitting there like. I look at this kid like he's my son, and so like I see somebody late hitting him a couple times and not getting called, and then I see it again. I lost my brain, and shame on me. I lost control of my emotions. I tell my guys all the time, don't let your emotions play with you, right? Play with emotion, and I did. I was livid and I was hot, and shame on me for that. And I can't do that, and we ask our players not to do it. But that's what led to it, and we're always going to try to keep this guy upright because he's the leader of our team, and he's going to carry us a long way.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.